Welcome back to Breakfast. We all know Sia, right? She's the Australian singer famed for her crazy wigs who's achieved global superstardom. She truly is a pop superstar, but now she's turned her attention to the big screen, writing and directing the new film Music. It's pretty amazing, although it hasn't come without some criticism, specifically around casting an able-bodied person in the role of an autistic teenager. So it was really refreshing to sit down with Sia to talk about all of that, the criticisms, but also how you celebrate something you've put your heart and soul into.
Really, really exciting, and like a long time coming, because we shot it many, many years ago. We edited it for 3.5 years, and then we've been waiting to put it out now for about a year, and I'm just like excited. I know it'll come out when it's supposed to. It came out in Australia this week, and I know it'll be coming to you guys soon. And a major dream of mine was just to get it on the big screen, and I had no idea I was going to end up getting it on the biggest screen. So that was really exciting.
Talk us through the process. How did this even come about? Was this a long... I mean, you talk about filming this a long time ago, but in terms of the generation of the idea for the film, was that a long time in the process as well?
Yeah, I mean, the idea was just germinated about 15 years ago. Could have been 18 years ago. I really don't know now. But all the main characters were there and a skeleton of a story. And then it took me about 10 years to develop the courage to anyone I wanted to be a director. And I started making music videos with Dan Haskell and Maddie Ziegler and Ryan Heffington, and we made Chandelier together. And then the success of that video and then the subsequent videos starring Maddie, working with Daniel and Ryan, gave me a little bit more self-esteem. And then I asked a bunch of actors that I'd worked with if I was a director or just a singer with good ideas. And they said, "You're a director." And so I branched out and I said, "Okay, Daniel, I'm going to try and do this one on my own." And I just feel really lucky. Every day was a treat, except for the editing. That was loathsome, but amazing.
Well, I can tell you, because I've seen it, it is very, very good. I was blown away. Yeah, I was blown away. It was like a visual overload, but I loved that. And it really felt like nothing I'd ever seen before on screen.
Good. I'm really happy that, because I don't like musicals, generally speaking. And so it was an unusual, I got lots of kicks in the butt that I better make it a musical, because otherwise I was really not using, a blank Scrabble tile with a Q, a U, and a triple word score. I was an idiot if I didn't make it a musical. And so I finally did, but I really didn't want to originally. I wanted to make a narrative film. I'm glad I did in the end. Really, really glad, because it's a much more interesting film, and it's a musical I would watch. It's
not a musical in the usual sense of a musical. It's not people walking down the street breaking into song. Explain for people though what the movie is, because as we say, we haven't had it out here yet. So give people a glimpse of what they can expect from the story.
Well, I'm just gonna say that my goal is to break your heart, put it back together again, and then leave you walking out of the cinema with a great sense of hope and compassion. That's all I'll say.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the story is about? What does the journey follow?
It's Rain Man with Girls, the musical.
I love that. That actually does sum it up perfectly. And you've got a phenomenal cast, right? You've got Kate Hudson, you've got Leslie Odom Jr., you've got Maddie Ziegler. This is huge. That must have alone made it a real joy of a project to work on.
Totally. They were awesome. I think casting is the most important part of the movie making process. And you better cast, and you better cast well, and then you better sit back and allow your actors to bring to the table their skills and trust them. And in fact, trust every single person you employ. And if you don't trust them, fire them and get someone you do trust, because it's a collaboration. I didn't make this movie by myself. We made it together. All of us made it together.
Now, I don't want to dwell on it, but there was some criticism about Maddie's casting as an autistic girl, and that's not for me to speak to or anything like that. But I just wondered, when you've put your heart and soul into a project like this, and it's gone for such a long period of time, how does it feel as an artist to take on that criticism? What do you do with that?
I didn't handle it very well. I broke my rule of tweeting after midnight. And also, I was just so frustrated because it had been a 1-minute teaser had come out. And but now I've had to just accept that I think I am ableist, and I didn't realize I'd spoken to, say, 20 factions of the autism community, but communities. But there were another 20 that I didn't speak to. And, you know, you said autistic. Well, I was told by the people that I spoke with that people on the spectrum don't like to be called autistic. They like to be called a person with autism. And yet when I said that, then there was a lot of people that came out and said, why do you keep saying that? Just call us autistic. And then there were other people who said, don't be so patronizing and say special abilities. And I'd asked specifically a Down syndrome friend, what do you like best? And he said special abilities. But I learned from someone else on Twitter, you know, special abilities is patronizing, you know, special needs is like over. Disabled isn't a pejorative, like just call us disabled. Like, so everyone had a different opinion, and there was so many opinions. I realized I just learned a lot more, and I realized that I really, you know, there is a saying that if you meet one person who with autism, then you've met one person with autism. And if I really had wanted to please everybody, I would have had to meet and talk to every single person with autism and ask their opinion. And there are lots of polarizing opinions within the autism community, and so I couldn't get it right for everybody. And I did do my best.
Well, I loved it, and I think it's a really phenomenal story and a powerful story as well. And I just want to say congratulations, and it's so nice to have you here in New Zealand with us as well.
Thanks.